Welcome back to a brand new Clan War League video. Today is day 3 and we are matched up against Acceptance. As you can see, this team was able to get global rank number 3 last month, but this week we are playing them. But before we dive right into this War Day, let's check out how we did in War Day 2. As you can see, we were able to win. We did get one fail. The enemy team didn't have any CC. It is what it is. We need to move on. Anyways, on to War Day 3. I am going to be attacking base number 12, a very common Legends base, which I have seen many times. So I'm going to dive right into a fairly brief plan on this base. Then we're going to jump into a live attack. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys 3 replays from the last War Day. So feel free to use the timestamps to skip to the part of the video that most applies to you. But without further ado, let's get into my plan. So if you did watch any of my videos from when I was doing my Root Rider hits in Legends, you will know just how easy this base is. The approach is very simple. All I'm going to be doing is spirit walking into this mortar, then to the wizard tower, invising like this, making sure there's no Tesla there, of course, and then pushing my RC into the fire spitter. Normally, she will go down to the Inferno tower, take down a section of the Rage tower, so you kind of get a bit of value like that. Then we're going to go with our Root Riders into this expo here, push them through. First overgrowth will look something like this. Second overgrowth will look something like this. Just basically cruise through the base here. Not a lot of damage at the start. Need to use all of our headhunters right at the beginning. And honestly, this base is so incredibly easy. That's all I need to tell you guys. Not a lot I can really talk about apart from that. I've seen this base so many times in Legends. And to be honest, if I fail, I'll probably just have to quit YouTube or something because, yeah, this base is not good. Anyways, that's my plan for this base. Not really anything in depth I can talk about today, but let's get right into the live attack. Okay, we are live and we are in. Let's do this right here, right now. I don't actually need to use an invis spell at the start here. I'm just going to use the RC on her own because just the expo will be hitting me and that's not a lot of damage that I can't just avoid. So go into here, everything as planned so far. We've got 3 invis spells. Probably will go down to a double cycle now because we are well in range of the town hall. Hopefully she keeps going forward. Well done, RC. Ideally she wouldn't target the town hall, but she does, which happens sometimes, definitely. Recall now, and we're looking great. So let's go with the ice golem like this, and the root riders like this. Get the first headhunter going, king with everything else, and yeah, whatever. We can leave that hook tower up. I don't think it's going to do a whole lot. To be honest, might hook maybe a root rider or 2, but overall we should be good. Lots and lots of little bits and bobs in there. I like to say, you know, it's all the archers and the giants which are just tanking. And as you can see, the hook tower pretty much does nothing. Need to think about our warden ability sooner than later because my healers are for some reason healing the warden and not the root riders, which is obviously not too ideal. Let's go for the warden ability now. And now we're going to wait for the rage tower to trigger before we go for the overgrowth as planned onto this rage tower. And as I said in the planning process, if you did watch that, this is probably the easiest base ever. I've attacked this base so many times that I could probably do it with my eyes closed. And as you can see, this one is completely smashed. I mean, what more can I say? This base is just piss easy. I've attacked it 100,000 times. What more can I say? I don't know. Let's pop the RC ability, otherwise you're probably going to die here. I would have liked to swag it, but unfortunately, that would not make this attack look as clean. Pop King and Queen ability, blah, 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 blah. You guys get the idea. This is a 3-star. Nice way to start off War Day 3. Hopefully we should be able to secure the win here. But now that my attack is done, we're going to check out some other replays from this War Day, or maybe last War Day. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, but you guys will find out in just a minute. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first attacker that we're going to watch from the previous War Day is Word. You guys know him, the Fireball Man. So he is coming in with the Fireball here on this double invis base. Not a great base, not sure what the enemy team was going for with this one. But this definitely was a trend that most of their bases were pretty weird and they also didn't have any defensive CC, which is why the fail that we got is very frustrating, setting us back once again. But nonetheless, as long as we win all of our War Days, only get maybe 1 or 2 more fails, throughout the entire Clan War League, we should be good for a high ranking. Anyways, Word is doing what I would call a surgical fireball attack here, where he's kind of going in with the fireball, very clean, very calculated, and then he's got a very calculated Flame Flinger. So all good so far. Flame Flinger is out of range of those mortars, provided that it doesn't move over a square or anything like that. And unfortunately, the Warden there does follow 2 baby dragons. I don't know if that was planned. I actually have no idea. I didn't even know the Warden would follow 2 baby dragons. That's quite cool. Good to know. Oh, is that 3? Oh, no, it's only 2 there. Huh, I didn't know that. Anyways, Flame Flinger is doing some work over on the other side of the base. I assume that was intentional because he didn't want the Warden to get in the way of the Flame Flinger. So they are working kind of side by side now on the opposite side of the base. So he's properly maximising the amount of value that he can get from that Flame Flinger. The Warden charge is going strong, and he is probably now thinking about starting up his hero dive as the Flame Flinger is working and the Warden is getting ever closer to the Mono and the Town Hall and all of that scary damage over there. He uses the Skelly Invis trick to trigger the Invis Tower, and it does work out. Again, very calculated, very clean attack so far. Tries to wall break the King in there, but unfortunately just a little bit late on the wall breaker. So the King does walk. Not that big of a deal. The Warden should be able to push him back into the base. And now he does this really cool Queen dive. Or should I say Queen charge with these 2 Druids. And just watch the Queen with those raised up healing from the Druids. She just does not die. It's pretty incredible how much healing they can actually do. And I definitely did not do that beforehand. Pops the King ability anyways because the Mono did lock onto the King. So unfortunately the King is going to go down. And the Warden is throwing a little bit, following the King there and not punching the Mono. Now as the King goes down, I believe the Warden does target the Town Hall here, as you can see, but then gets distracted once again by the Queen. So a little bit messy with the Warden being so close to the hero dive. Perhaps a better plan would have been to hero dive the other side of the base, but nonetheless, as you can see, with 3 more spells, he pops the Rage with the RC ability, and then he has the 2 free spells, which will definitely carry him to the end there. Although this one does look close, I think he would have been able to keep the Warden and the Queen alive if he did just use the free spells. But nonetheless, a nice little 3-star. So that's the first replay that I'm going to show you guys. Let's get into the next one. Second replay then, from the previous war day, we are going to watch Applesauce here attack QHT Kingdom. He's attacking this pretty common double rage setup, which I'm sure you guys have seen a million times, and I'm sure Applesauce was obviously very confident on this base with his dragon army. So anyways, he's spirit walking right into this monolith and the merge cannon here. I feel like this area is normally quite heavily baited, but he does not run into any trouble here. Goes for the double cycle at the start of the attack to avoid any damage to the Fox, because of course the Mono and the merge cannon are quite fast firing and are very good at sniping the Fox. Pops the haste vial then as he moves into the high HP area of this rage tower, and pops the earthquake to get the most value out of it, because he can damage a ton of buildings. Remember, the earthquake spell does do 20% health damage to obviously everything in its radius. So very good value from the earthquake spell there. Gets a huge chunk of the base down with the RC charge. Gets the entire rage tower, the Mono and the merge cannon. So looking really good so far. Again, he has this C shape created with the spirit charge. So he goes the King and the Peckers on the thinner side of the C, and the Dragons on the thicker side of the C. But I'm sure you guys probably do know that already if you have watched any of his videos. Anyways, the Warden and the Minion Prince are going in. King is getting stuck on the RC there, which is why I did suggest that he brung a wall breaker in this army. Got no idea if he will do that, but go ahead and feel free to watch that video where I did test this army out. I believe it was episode 4 maybe, can't quite remember now. Anyways, he do think that the double sweepers will be quite an issue for him, but honestly, in the end, they don't really do a whole lot. They kind of just push the dragons back and mostly delay them. Note that maybe if there was a hook tower as opposed to the crusher mortar in the core of the base, this one might have been a little bit harder. But as you can see, with the Minion Prince ability and the King ability still intact, with the poison spell for the enemy heroes there down at the 4 or 5 o'clock compartment, he is going to have no trouble cleaning up the rest of this base. Replay ends in 3 seconds. Minion Prince locks on, let's get into the next replay of the War Day. So yes, decided to treat you guys to 3 replays today, mostly because this attack was quite good, but unfortunately there is no CC, so of course most of these attacks are going to be quite crushed because that makes your life significantly easier. Anyways, we are going to be watching Ruby here, who I believe is an account of the attacker XiYan, who is like a base builder for Legends Hub, and I think he's got maybe rank 2 before. You guys probably know him, but nonetheless, he is doing a Super Witch attack on this base, gets the fireball there onto the scatter shot, and takes down a very large chunk of the defenses. Splits up the Earthquake spells slightly and lets the Warden finish off the Ricochet Cannon and the Expo here before he does start with the Super Witches. And as you can see, he has set up a great funnel into this Town Hall. Should be able to avoid damage from both of the Fire Spitters, which is always a nice bonus. The only awkward thing is, of course, at the start with the healers. You do want them to switch to the Super Witches, but it can get a little bit fishy at times. He has started the Queen up down by the 3 o'clock side there with the enemy king. And yeah, looking good at the moment. He is using the Troop Launcher variant of this attack. And the Troop Launcher does initially launch on the Queen, which gives her some nice tanking against that multi-arch tower. He does engage with the enemy king there and makes quick work of the king. I don't believe he did use a headhunter in this case, but so far so good. Uses the jump spell into the Town Hall, which maybe could have been used with a wall breaker, but always safe than sorry. Probably would have gone to the Fire Spitter if he did try and wall break. Moving in then, King is leading the charge here. Mono and the Merge Cannon are the big threats, so he does freeze those, making sure that they don't snipe the king too early. Unfortunately, the Queen, under the damage of the raised Ricochet Cannon and the Expo there, does go down pretty quickly. I believe he did try to save her there with the freeze spell. Now starting up with the RC to make quick work of that section there. And as you can see, with 4 spell space, yeah, that's the one. 4 spell space left. This one is absolutely smashed. No problems at all, of course, to be expected, because this team did have no defensive CC for no apparent reason. So there we go. That is all of the replays for today. Let's get into the recap. So there we go. That was my hit on War Day 3. As you can see, PJ is currently getting attacked by Muffin. And spoiler alert, it was a 3-star. So I'm not really sure the direction in which this match is going to take. Acceptance have been slightly lacking this month. I believe they got 38 on the first day, 42 on the second day, and now, of course, the third War Day. Who knows? They might go perfect. They might fail 5 times. They might fail 10 times. But I'm going to expect that it's going to be quite a close one. They're putting up a good fight. But that is all I have for you guys in today's video. I hope you did enjoy. We'll be back again tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Goodbye.